everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It is Monday, August 22nd, officially 1 week away from the start of school for most Stride school districts. So it's coming. I'm Tracy McCain here with Christian Morgan and Megan Malaris.
Yeah, summer coming to a close. Ironically, we've been cooling down. Usually we are still in the 90s. It's sticky. It is stormy. Well, we've had that, but overall, it's been really nice.
Yeah, like you said, we've had plenty of storms. Another early wake-up call for a lot of folks really early this morning and overnight as well, as rain and storms move through the triad. Now those are all gone, but we are left with the clouds. We are left with some patchy, dense fog across the triad as well. Take a look at this. Visibility is down to a mile in many spots, or even below a mile in some places this morning. So keep that in mind. Your morning commute to work, wherever you're headed, is probably going to be delayed a little bit, or at least slowed down by some of that patchy fog. So take it easy out there. A couple little upper level disturbances swinging through overhead today. Meanwhile, the approach of a slow moving cold front from the west will increase that chance again for scattered showers and storms this afternoon. But you know how it goes, very hit or miss. Not everybody gets one, but we'll keep an eye out for those mainly after about 2 and 3 o'clock. After that, that cold front will settle down to our south for tomorrow. High pressure will take more control of our weather and bring us back to drier weather for your Tuesday and for your Wednesday. So here's how the radar could look this afternoon. Again, you know, kind of the flavor of the day. It's hard to really pinpoint exactly when or where these storms are going to pop up, but that's how we track radar from time to time. It's just very typical of a summer afternoon and summer evening setup. Once those storms come to an end, we're looking at a partly cloudy sky overnight and likely in other areas of patchy dense fog by the time you wake up on Tuesday morning. So for today, a mostly cloudy sky. We'll add in the sunshine more as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures climb up into the low to mid 80s today, so not crazy hot, but it will be sticky. The humidity is back. That's a factor again. Scattered showers and storms mainly after about 2 and 3 o'clock. Otherwise, partly cloudy sky will fall back into the mid and upper 60s overnight here in the Piedmont. Pretty much the same story for our western counties and foothills as well, with low to mid 60s there. In the tropics, things are fairly quiet, keeping our eyes on one area of low pressure producing some showers and thunderstorms west of the Cape Verde Islands. Has about a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days. So not a whole lot to be concerned with there in the tropics, although we are keeping a closer eye on those as we head into the end of August and into September, starting to get to peak hurricane season. So anyway, we'll keep an eye out for scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Low 80s today, drier for the middle of the week with mid 80s for your Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll increase the rain chance a little bit Thursday and Friday. Temperatures hovering the low to mid 80s. I don't see any 90s for a while.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll be back, though. I mean, we all know this is too good to be true.
You know, we've even had 90-degree days. I don't know if you guys remember that heat wave a couple of years ago in October. We had several days of consecutive 90-degree days then. So
yeah, I remember wearing a cut-off T-shirt to homecoming for the football game when normally I'm wearing like sweaters or jackets, and I was like, this is odd.
This is different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so don't discount the heat yet. It could come back.
I mean, I remember a few years ago wearing short sleeves to Christmas. Remember
that
December
I remember that
was really warm?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was like 2015, 2016.
I remember that. Like 70-something that day, yeah.
Anyway, my point is
possible.
we can have warmer
possible.
temperatures for quite some time.
Yes.
So, well, if you are looking to get away and enjoy one last summer weekend with the family for the Labor Day holiday, your gas prices, at least at Greensboro, are going to be less than what you have been paying all summer. They have fallen 11 cents a gallon. The average is about $3.50 a gallon in Winston-Salem, as you can see on this map. Durham, it's a bit higher at $3.81. So with this fluctuation in gas prices, are you planning or perhaps rescheduling any new trips? We'll give you some time to drop a comment here on your feed. The average price across the state, by the way, is still higher than around here. So all in all, I think we can count our blessings.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the varied, price changes, I really haven't felt a difference in my family's budget yet. That being said, we may do what we always do when we have an extra day, which is go to Mebane to see family, go to Witsit, Guilford County. But we don't typically go very far, especially when it's only a 3-day weekend. But a vacation for 5 days, it is definitely on my radar. And if that's the case, we're going to fly somewhere, but not anytime soon. Yeah. How about you guys?
I'll be honest.
Okay.
I do a lot of driving and moving around, whether it be just traveling back and forth to Asheboro for family stuff or if it's the band playing. but I haven't really slowed down a lot, even when gas prices got higher. I think I did cut back on the amount I was going to get coffee.
Yeah.
You know, but that
we've noticed.
Yeah, that you know, put a little extra cash in my pocket.
Yeah,
but
right.
as far as reducing the amount of travel that I do, I think that's still about the same.
Yeah. We honestly haven't done as many road trips lately because of the high gas prices all summer. And like you said, even this few cents of an improvement really has not made much of a difference overall. I mean, every little bit counts, but when I still see that big price tag at the end of my fill up, I'm like, oh gosh, you know, it makes me think twice about running unnecessary errands, or I have to think a little bit harder about how I can put all my errands in the same trip, you know, so I can be strategic about it. And so with that said, we're not going anywhere for the Labor Day holiday. It's just too much right now, especially with the kids. So it's not just about gas, but it's just a lot going on. And so, you know, we're kind of laying low and taking it easy this year.
Yeah.
When I've been at home and been in Asheboro a couple weekends over the last several weeks, I have seen gas down in the $2, you know, $2.80, $2.90 range at a couple places. Yeah. It's, you know, it's kind of been fluctuating between that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I also think it's you know, like 89 degrees sounds a whole lot cooler than 91 degrees.
Right.
And it's really not that much different. You know, 296 is going to sound a whole lot better than 302.
Yeah.
So I think it's the way that we perceive it too, but just to kind of see it every now and then fall back into at least the $2 to $3 range instead of $3 to $4 range is a good feeling. So I think there's maybe a
I
light
gassed
at the end
up
of the
yesterday at my favorite spot. You guys know where it is. No commercials here. And it was $3.27. So now I'm like, Asheboro is where it's at.
That's where it's at.
Exactly. Okay. Time to
Call your
go.
brother.
Exactly.
You're coming.
I'm
Come to
coming
visit
through.
and get gas.
Have dinner ready.
There you go, 2 for 1.
So yeah, let's see. Alicia Johnson said that she's going to save instead of riding around this holiday. I think there was one other comment earlier. LeVar said we'll probably go to the beach sometime after Labor Day. Let hotel prices go down as well, because really, I mean, he's right. Everything is up. It's not just, you know, gas. It's hotel stays. It's also flights. I mean, it's everything. Food, everything. Preston said in August, it's practically the last full week of August, considering September starts next week after the 31st. So talking about, you know, how fast the summer has gone. So if you're going to get in a last minute summer trip, you only have weeks to do it.
Yeah, a couple people like Carol wanting to go to the beach. It would be a pretty good week to go to the beach. I know end of August, early September can be a little bit dicey. You know, are increasing your odds of hurricane season, so you have to make sure you check your hotel's policy on rescheduling if there were to be a storm, but it looks okay, knock on wood.
Yeah, things have been relatively quiet up to this point. You know, and I say it's not out of the ordinary for us to be quiet in June and July, early August, but now we're starting to get into that time frame where we're just kind of, you know, side-eyeing the tropics every day. Like, what are you doing down there? You know, we had what could have been Tropical Storm Danielle over the weekend. Never made it there. So that fizzled out. Now there's another little disturbance off the coast of Africa. It's not doing a lot right now. But that's how these things start. You know, they don't really do a whole lot. And then they run into that one, you know, they have that one day of really good improvement, really good organization, and it kind of blows up from there. So getting into that time of the year. So we'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Wow. So we're still only on D?
We hadn't made it to D yet. We only had 3 named storms so far this year.
So did Danielle count, or no? That will be our next one.
That will be our next one. Yeah, that was on Friday evening. It was called Potential Tropical Cyclone Number 4, which is really detailed. But what it just means is, hey, we're not going to call this a tropical depression because it's right on the verge of being a tropical storm. And when we can find that center of circulation, then we're going to name it. But they never found it, and then it moved on land and said, fizzled out.
Right.
Melita said we weathered a hurricane at the beach once. Once was enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It is nothing that you want to purposefully, wait out unless you have to. But boarding up and staying safe, that is a task.
Real task.
And scary too.
Yeah, it is. All right, great first conversation. We do have some really important morning headlines to get to, and then we'll have our second talker of the day. We've been on top of this all morning long. Greensboro police are investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting. It happened during a traffic stop on the 4900 block of West Market Street just after 9 last night. Investigators say an officer pulled over a stolen car, And then the officer tried to approach the car. The driver sped away and several people jumped out. Police say the driver of the stolen car drove into a police cruiser, then sped off, and that's when they say the officer fired his weapon. The driver was shot and pronounced dead at the scene. The SBI is investigating, and the officer is on administrative duty, which is standard protocol in these situations. Investigators say weather is partly to blame for a deadly crash in High Point last night. It happened around 10 on South University Parkway. Police say a man wearing dark clothing was trying to cross the road when a driver hit him. The pedestrian died on scene. No charges are expected.
Well, today, Guilford County Schools will break ground on 3 new school buildings. They are all part of a facilities master plan developed to either rebuild or repair old and rundown schools across the district. The money being used comes from 2 school bonds voters passed, and the first school being rebuilt is Kaiser Middle School. Drivers will soon be able to loop around the city of Greensboro a lot faster. The Greensboro Urban Loop is expected to open sooner than expected in spring 2023. The final stretch is between Elm Street and US 29 on the north side of town. Once complete, the loop will save drivers a ton of time getting around the city. Look at that, almost complete. Now
It really
that
is
exciting.
nice. It really is nice. The sections that are open are great.
Right, because right now, we take the loop to get to my mom's house in Whitsett. We used to live, like an exit down, but we've, moved. So now it takes about 30 minutes. And with this Greensboro Urban Loop, project, that part complete, it'll take us probably like 20 minutes. So it'll save 10 minutes, so we won't have to drive through town.
That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Down to Cone to get to 29.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll save a lot of time.
And right now there's not, every time I drive it, which is a couple times a week, there's not really any traffic on it. And I don't know if that'll change when they open it all the way. I'm sure it will some, so people can get it on it from where they are and carry it all the way around. But for now, there's not a lot of traffic on it, and maybe it doesn't save some folks time to get where they're going. A lot of folks may be going through town or going to certain places, but it's one of those roads, I think, that won't be bumper to bumper traffic, so you can get where you need to get pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're 3 lanes
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
the whole
All the
way
way.
through. And you're right, not a lot of drivers taking advantage of it, because it's not really to get from like one street to the next street.
Right.
It's really to get around.
Get around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there are exits along the way so that you can, jump from street to street if you choose to. So, for us, traveling from one side of Guilford County to a whole other side of Guilford County, it's going to be a time saver completely.
yeah.
I used to go when I would leave my place in Greensboro and go to Asheboro. I used to go all the way through town. I used to go all the way through town, and now, well, one, they're doing a bunch of work close to downtown on Elm Street. So every time I go, I have to go through that. But now I just, go from my place and go out and hit the urban loop, and it carries me all the
Straight
way
to Asheboro.
around to 73, and I get off right there.
That's how we get there too.
Yep.
It is such a game
So
changer.
nice.
I mean, I love the loop. You map it out, and sometimes your distances are longer if you take the loop, but the travel time is like half because you're not running into all those lights. And I know initially the concern was, okay, well, people are going to bypass all of these businesses in Greensboro to get around. I don't know if that has necessarily happened because you're still getting off those exits depending on where you need to go, but it's just a faster way to get there.
If anything, it's expanded access to
think
more
so.
stores,
Yeah.
and more stores are building, and you're seeing, small businesses really have a boost because now other people can get to them faster and easier. So.
And if you live on the north side of town, it's a really easy way to get, to like Battleground or Lawndale. Because there are exits off of that just to take you right there.
Exactly, or to the airport.
Yep, to the airport.
But you're right, though, it's never very crowded. And I really think that's because Greensboro has really been invested in infrastructure first, and then we've grown our population, which has happened over the last several years. But you compare it to cities like Charlotte and Raleigh, which had the people explosion, and now they're trying to get the infrastructure. And these projects are taking years and years and years to complete, and there are traffic nightmares in those cities where we're not really experiencing those on a given day, and that's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. All right. Side note here.
Yeah.
Conversation.
By the way, wasn't one of our planned talkers, but it certainly is talk around town.
I know, we were talking about that. I was like, wait, was this our talker?
No.
I couldn't remember.
No. But as I was rewriting the story for after GMS, I was just like, we could loop around the city. And I just had so much fun writing. And I'm like, this is because, I'm on the loop. use it like every day. So this is really exciting, not just for people, but for businesses and realtors who we've interviewed say now they have ways to position people in terms of like, oh well, this really isn't that far.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you take the urban loop, you can get there in this amount of time. It's just another selling point. So, all right, here's our real conversation.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So there is a national day for everything, right? Well, today's is really, really cool. It is National Be an Angel Day.
Oh.
Yeah. So while we dig into the details a little bit, type in the comments how you are kind to others or share a story where someone has been super kind to you. All right, let's dive into it here. National Be an Angel Day started in 1993, and it encourages good deeds and kindness to others. Organizers say by supporting those in need and inspiring others to be kind, we display an angelic act here on earth.
Amen to that.
Yes. So recently we went to IHOP. My son loves the pancakes and the bacon. And so he was opening the door for us. And of course I had Josiah, Simone, and Julian. Julian was in a stroller. He was like knocked out. And our stroller is super big because I have to put all these other things, in it, bags and all this other stuff. So I'm like pulling it through and Josiah's holding the door and somebody apparently saw him being kind to us, I mean, I'm his mom. He should hold the door open for me, but somebody saw that and they were moved and inspired that, he was such a gentleman and, was helping us through. And so we sat down and we ordered and the waiter came over and said, hey, this one's on somebody else. And I was like, oh my gosh, who? And they said they already left, but they put on the receipt, thank you for being an example and blah, blah, blah. So I can't remember it specifically, but I did post it on my Facebook page. It was like more than a month ago. It was during I remember it was like 95 degrees outside that day.
Super hot.
Yeah. But that was just unexpected.
Yeah.
And it was super kind. And it was like, a $30 meal between the four of us. Because Julian, eats pancakes too. And I was just so appreciated that I ended up passing that on to the waitress who was serving us because, I was just like, that was unexpectedly kind. Let me be gracious to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Wow.
How about you
That's
guys?
a great story.
Mine has to do with the stroller too.
Always the stroller.
Mine does
They're
not have to
so
do with the
big.
stroller.
And they make them so big. I mean,
They
because of
are.
all the safety standards and everything now, which I'm appreciative of, but those double strollers especially are very bulky. And so we went to the mall the other day and I was by myself with both kids and the stroller fit just fine getting in the elevator and it got stuck on the way out. And I was getting a little bit panicky because like the door is trying to close and the stroller is stuck, like the alarm on the elevator is going off and like 5 people jumped in to help me, just
that's
ran
nice.
over. Yeah, someone was like, okay, you grab this end, I'll grab this end. And I'm just like, okay. And then they're like helping me get the stroller with the kids out of the elevator. And I was just so appreciative. I mean, obviously I think anyone in that moment would have jumped in to help somebody in need, but just the fact that they did it without even thinking or asking about it, they didn't know me and then didn't want praise afterward, just left. And I was so thankful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the little things.
Yeah,
It is the little things.
How about you, bud?
Let's see. Well, most recently, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. My band had our annual concert that we do in Asheboro, and we raise canned foods for a local food bank there, our Daily Bread Soup Kitchen in Asheboro. And we've done that for years and years and years. We always say, if you can't make it, we'd love for you to send some canned food if you can, and all that. So it was actually somebody here at work, I won't call them out by name, but came up to me the day before, the week before the concert and said, hey, when's your band playing? I said, it's Sunday night in Asheboro, blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, I'm out of town this weekend, but so I can't make it. And I was like, yeah, you can catch us on the next one. But what I didn't know was they had written a check for a donation to our Daily Bread Soup Kitchen. And so they wrote a check and then our actual company matched
That's
that
so
donation
cool.
to them. So I just thought, it wasn't directly to me, but it was for something that we were working towards, and I thought that was
Right.
really, really kind.
That is really kind.
What's that?
Just whisper who it was.
Donna.
Oh, I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was like, it's gotta be. I was like, Ed Matthews was my other guest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes
Yep.
sense. All right, so people. Oh, sorry.
They're weighing in on this. Carol had someone pay for breakfast a few times. She said, always pay it forward.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Belinda said usually chooses to pay a utility bill or purchase food as an act of kindness to those who have graciously touched her life. I love that. Bobby said a Danville, Virginia police officer paid for his breakfast one morning.
wow.
Yeah. Belinda said she usually chooses to pay a utility bill or purchase food as an act of kindness to those who have graciously touched her life, which is so awesome. And then LeVar said a while back, a lady at the grocery store was buying her groceries and her card didn't work, so he paid for her stuff, which is really awesome. I've done that as well during like the Christmas holiday, and it just makes you feel like really good. And you hope that the next person may, touch someone and bless someone in a different way. Let's see. I think that could be it. Yeah. So Jason Smith said, just follow the golden rule. Debbie Isley said she helps seniors in the grocery store. And that's also another big one. If I see someone who is having difficulty reaching something, whether it's high or low, or pushing, or even just taking groceries out to their car. Because I always think about my mom, who when she doesn't listen to me, goes out and does this on her own. And I'm like, Mom, I will pick up your groceries, which I do. I'm like, give me your list by Thursday. On Friday, I'll go for both of us. Yeah. And then I drop them off at her house, but sometimes she just says she can't wait. So she'll go out, and I'm just like, oh God, please somebody help her. So whenever I see someone who needs help, I always assist them. Yeah.
Airplanes too. When you see someone struggling to get that carry-on bag over in the overhead, and you see all these people sitting around not doing a single thing because they're already on their phone. Like, please, somebody help! Because I remember
somebody with a long arm get up here and push this thing.
Gosh, I remember being pregnant and flying somewhere on my own, and I had to ask somebody for help, and it's like, just it'd be great if someone offered, and so try to do that for people when I'm on flights.
Yeah, little things.
Doesn't have to be something big.
Yeah,
just one simple, small.
Exactly. Act. Can go a very long way.
Or even a word, it doesn't have to be necessarily an act, something, even a kind word or something.
Right,
a smile, somebody feel good.
Phone call.
Yeah.
A card. You will not believe the power of the written word. I'm a huge advocate for writing handwritten. My handwriting's terrible, but I think it's important to write handwritten thank you notes, handwritten birthday cards. Go the extra mile. It takes just a few seconds to sign your name on a card, and it will make someone's day.
This is probably TMI, but I always write a card on a note card when I'm upset with my husband, just to let him know this is how I feel. Because if I say it, it's different. Because I say it, and he's like, okay, whatever. But if I write it down, he actually stops and he's like, you know what, I'm sorry, you're right. And I'm like, okay.
It's file that away. Yes,
exactly. So they're not only good thank you cards, they're also take note of this card.
That's why they're called note cards.
I have a note for you, honey. All right. We also have a note about the forecast as we start to wrap up this great edition of After GMS.
Yeah, this one means something too, because I wrote it all down and even put it in a nice graphic for you.
Notes.
I'm not just going to say it, you can see it, you can read it, all right? Scattered showers and storms this afternoon. They'll be hit or miss. Not everybody gets one of those. Low 80s this afternoon. Weather's a little bit better, a little drier too for your Tuesday and Wednesday. And warmer too, mid and upper 80s. Still not crazy hot, but the humidity is back, so it'll be a bit sticky outside for the next few days. Slight uptick in those rain chances. Again, not washouts or anything like that. Even through the weekend, just a little better chance for pop-up showers and storms. Low to mid 80s through the end of the week and into next weekend as well. No 90s that I see for a while.
Nice. And if we can hold that out, that'd be great. Maybe one more 90. We'll see.
We'll try.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. Certainly had a lot of fun with
we did.
Conversations that were planned and not planned. And we'll see what we come up with tomorrow.
All right, get out there and get to it. Let's make it a great Monday.
See ya.